And then Mike, the old drummer, was also in Moontown, but he had left both bands. And then Pitter Patter, I'm good friends with him. I don't think our singer in Moontown was in the band for a little bit, but I don't think he was on the podcast. I think it was just Seth and Benji, right? I think. But yeah, we're all connected in some way.
Yeah. All right.
And then there's us, the fucking metal band.
The other guys.
Yeah. Like it's just like completely outside of that scope, but still hanging out, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's all if there is a common thread, it is like all music nerd stuff.
Absolutely.
Just different spectrums of sonic abrasiveness.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
But I mean, like, Pitter Patter, you know, they have their moments of chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Heading North has its moments of heaviness.
Yeah.
You know, it's all and dare I say Lysandra.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how I pronounce it.
You can do it.
It's like half the pizza shops in Pittsburgh. Like people don't know how to pronounce it.
Is it Betos or Betos?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dare I say, y'all have your moments of not so heaviness. Little
That's-
moments of sprinkling calmness within the storm.
We
Yeah,
sure do.
probably.
Yeah. I mean, Pitter Patter, in terms of stage presence, they were easily like one of the best bands I've seen. Like local or not, like they were killing it up there.
That's true.
Like with
Yeah.
banter in between songs too. Like I had to point it out. I was like, you guys nailed it. Like,
Yeah, no, I love those guys, and I'm actually really, really bummed because they had reached out for us to play a show with them coming up, and we just can't do it because the date doesn't work out
For what band?
for Normal Creatures.
Okay, gotcha.
And we've played with them a couple of times. I think I've seen them play a few times, and they're awesome. Like really, really great band and good stage performance. This is the Pitter Patter fan appreciation episode.
We appreciate all Pittsburgh.
Hell
bands.
yeah. We're rolling, so fuck it. You know,
Okay.
what a better way to start the episode than fucking glazing our friends. You know what I'm saying? But I am sitting here today with two individuals that I have never met before today. This is indeed, in fact, another episode of Start the Beat, aka Strangers in My House. Everyone, please make some noise for Dom and Addie of Lysandra. Thank you so much for being here. Woo! Woo! Insert applause. The crowd goes wild.
You could put like the Price is Right theme in there or something, and just kind of make it sound as big as we can.
Yeah, I'll make it sound huge. Don't worry.
Awesome.
Don't worry.
Awesome.
A huge intro for a huge sounding band. I want to start off the episode today by letting you know that I took some time to listen to your 2025 release.
Thank you.
And I was very impressed with the production, the songwriting. It's really, really cool. There's a lot of really, really cool elements going on. And it's insane to me that we're neighbors and we're just meeting each other now, that I'm just hearing these things now. But, you know, you get a lot of this Pittsburgh scene is super small. And it kind of goes back to the beginning of our conversation, talking about how all these bands that have been on the show are tied together. And it's small in some ways, but there's still so much going on that it's really hard to know about everything.
Yeah.
And I was just really, really impressed. It's a really awesome album. And
Thank
I'm
you.
Happy to pick your brain some more and learn more about you guys.
No, I'm really happy to hear that. It's definitely one of those projects, at least like creatively, that I feel like has been the most like rewarding, but also like the ability to like flesh it out and things like that has been one of the better exercises for me personally. I think it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a lot of those songs have been written for a long time, but then rewritten and then rewritten again and then renamed and then like all these things and then re-recorded. So like we have an EP that was out, and when we first started recording that, we kind of wanted to do the whole album then. And then we just like kind of, I don't know, we can't get our shit together sometimes. And then
I think some of it was just we didn't want to take forever to release our first thing. Because we had to put something out in the world, and then we can worry about the
we felt like we just
the
wanted to
rest.
get something out, and just like, and then like the EP songs actually kind of came out of nowhere. They like weren't written. And then
isn't that weird? Like we
then-
had a lot of tracks that we were sitting on, and then the EP tracks are more or less like brand new in the grand scheme
so
of
like
things.
most of the album songs,
Sure.
which is newer, are older than the EP songs, which came out first for
Yeah.
some reason.
That's kind of like, what was it? Like Between the Buried and Me's Alaska. Like, I think that like that album was pretty much written in its entirety before they even put out Silent Circus.
Oh, really?
And like, it was just something that had been being sat on, and then for whatever reason they decided to wait to record it. I don't know if it was the same thing where it's like, we don't have what we need to do this yet, or who knows.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of that. Like, we just didn't feel like we had the necessary like tools to do it for whatever reason, whatever that may have been, just like our recording limitations, or because I guess there's some things on the album that, you know, like we didn't think we were going to be able to do, but we got saxophone on there at one point. And that was like kind of an idea that Addie wanted to do.
Yeah.
That, you know, it took a while to figure out how we were going to do that, who we were going to use.
Yeah, we had a couple people in mind. But the big thing was making sure that we had the song that was appropriate for it too. So the track that we're talking about is Iron Giant, featuring
Alan Romero.
Alan, but goes by
Kako.
Kako. Okay. Yeah. I wanted to say Keiko. I wanted to get that right.
Keiko,
you know,
Kako.
Got
like
it.
Back to the pizza shop.
Lysandra.
Back to Lysandra, Lysandra. Yeah. Betos or Betos. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because we became pretty good friends with Feral Cat, and then we were gonna have him do it, and then he was kind of like tied up with a bunch of other projects, and so recommended his sibling actually. So that's who it is.
It worked out. Yeah,
and it's absolutely killer.
And they've been a treat to work with too. Yeah. So yeah, I remember the reaction to the song being not even fully completed. Like, it was just like we kind of tossed the parts in there to like make sure it like all fit correctly, and they were still like so hyped about it, like so enthusiastic. I was so happy to hear the reaction, just the response from even just one person like that.
Yeah,
let alone someone involved with it. I was
cool. What I really, enjoy about that, listening back to it, and something that like was mostly your doing, is that we were able to like feature the saxophone and not kind of just like throw it in there.
Yeah.
Because like he would bring it up and I'd be like, yeah, we can have saxophone at some point. Yeah, we'll figure it out. But he was like, I want it to be like at the forefront and like have the song almost kind of built around it, and something I couldn't really have foreseen, but I think it worked out really well.
Yeah, no, I think that like everything on the record sounds really cool, and I think that the time that you put into crafting it and being patient with it shows. And I think the two of you, this is going to be the last time I say anything nice to you. No, I'm kidding. I think you should really be proud of yourselves, because putting together an album, especially one of that scale, because I can tell, I record stuff, I produce a lot of my own music. I know what goes into all the nooks and crannies of putting together an album. I know how much fucking work it is. Even a bad album takes a lot of work.
That's true.
But like, you got like a really, really cool record, and you did a really good job. So
thank you.
No, seriously,
congrats on that.
I think about that a lot too, because like when we were like getting to the end of that, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is what, does this suck? I was like, and then I just don't know.
I was really happy to like, because you're saying like, oh, does it suck? Whenever I would kind of share it with friends, of course, but like even strangers, really, because like I was working at a record shop for a while, so there was a time where people would just kind of come in and just to chat about music, really. Like, they wouldn't always like be there for a specific reason, but the topic of music comes up, and then musicianship, like, and then being like, oh, are you in a band? Like, well, yeah, I am. I have this thing, and it's Lysandra. We make all this stuff where we yell in your face, like, like that kind of thing. And then, like, there was one interaction where a guy had asked me that, like, that scenario had played out. And then he was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll check it out. Thanks. And he leaves the shop, right? And I think nothing of it. 5 minutes later, he comes back in, swings the door open, and he's like, is that you that's on there? Like, you made this? I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't lie about that. But like, he was like, that is nice, dude. Like, that is so sick. And I did not know how to take that compliment at the time. I was just like, let alone not only like being the guy to like, because there's so many people in life that are like, yeah, I'll check it out, and then they never do. It could be a TV show, it could be music, it could be whatever. Expected. But like, not only did he check it out, but he also came back in immediately.
Yeah, I love that he came back.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You?
That's
like, did you do that?
Story.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite interactions. And what's his name? I couldn't tell you, but he's a great guy. I would vouch for him.
I think that there's that never-ending question of like, what can we do as independent musicians to get our music heard more, to get more people to know about the scene? And really, it's just about actually having conversations with people and telling them about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
like,
true.
10 times out of 10, anytime I talk to somebody that isn't a musician, but friends of mine that like music, about like, why don't you come out to some local shows? It's like, well, I only know about them if you tell me.
Yeah.
They're not paying attention or following the bands online like we are. They're not in the bubble like we are.
Mm-hmm.
And even I miss a lot of shit, So of course they're not going to fucking know. But it's so easy to be like, well, nobody cares, because you're just so used to being in the bubble of people that are burned out and jaded and kind of don't care. But there are a lot of people that want to swing the door open, like you just said, and be like, yo, this is fucking sick.
That's true. you can't forget that. Like,
you can't. Like, anytime we've played like a bigger show, opening up for like a big touring band, people will come up to the merch table like, where are you from? I'm like, down the street, motherfucker.
I literally live in a house down the road.
What do you mean? I'm like, yeah, we're from here.
Yeah.
But they don't know unless you tell them.
It's true.
But you got to be annoying and start talking more about your work.
I get like a little self-conscious about talking about my bands for some reason. And I don't want to be like, I never want to like,
who wants to be that person?
But like you do have to talk about it. Like when someone asks you have to deliver that. And because you never know who's going to be like, oh fuck, this is.
Yeah, totally.
Or like it could be, exactly, like right up their alley. Like we, as a genre, like we always just say, for anyone, literally, I'm always like, oh, we're a metal band, like heavy metal type of thing. But to get like into the specifics, like the people that care, like I say like, oh, we're progressive metalcore, or I'll just say metalcore, or I try not to say prog metal, because then they're like, oh, so like Opeth.
Yeah.
Not
exactly.
Not really. Oh, so then like, I've gotten between the buried and me before, and I'm like,
kind of, little bit.
Yeah, but
I think that if I were to do that annoying thing and put like two bands on you, be like, you guys are a mixture of this. I'd be like, you're a mixture of like Gojira and Architects.
Oh, I've heard both of those before.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that at all, actually. So,
but
I'll
with
take
its
it.
own other elements of things too.
Yeah. No, I'll take it.
I would definitely say it's definitely under the umbrella of metalcore.
Yeah.
But like, I wouldn't put Gojira in that element. But I think the thing that I think is similar between the bands is actually the crafting of the songwriting and how it feels like there's a lot of intention behind different parts and where things are placed, which I think Gojira is really good at. Instead of just being like, here's a part, or like having a song with two sections. Like, your songs have a lot of different parts that all dance and play well together and take you on a story, paints a picture.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I appreciate that.
It's more like through composed than like verse chorus,
I
Although
really
we do
try
have
to
instances of that, but it usually ends up taking a weird turn.
Yeah, I try to avoid the verse, chorus, bridge, chorus. Like anything like surrounding that song structure is like, I have a couple like of those like philosophies that I go into like a headspace when I'm writing, but we can.
It feels like there's certainly like refrains and hooks in your music, even if parts are coming back around and maybe there's some melodic component that's different, but there's still like a similar through line of something that happened previously that lets the listener like feel comfort and a sense of familiarity in the sonic landscape.
I've noticed myself a certain form that we do that we've actually done a lot that now that I'm aware of it, I want to stop doing it too much.
I think I know exactly what you're going to say.
It kind of ends up being like intro, verse, chorus, some type of riff, a bridge that's way too long, and then another chorus, and then an outro.
See,
it's kind of
I thought you were going to say we start off with some like sick ass riff and then like the song like evolves from there. Like that, which yes, like I mean you could argue a couple songs start like that. The one that springs to mind at least is like Eat Shit Robots. But like as long as not every song is like that, because it's still a cool way to do a song. But I totally get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, so that'll probably change.
Well, I think that's also, that's a part of like your, how can you finesse this into something positive? Like it's your artistic voice.
Yeah, it's
right.
Like I was almost thinking like it could be like your sound. Like I feel like we're a band where we still struggle a little bit to like really define what our sound is.
Well, here you go. It's like if you compare it to like a visual artist, like you can look at a painting and be like, oh, that's a Van Gogh or a Picasso.
Sure.
It's like, I could listen to a composition and be like, oh, that's a Lysandra.
Mm-hmm.
Like why not? I think there's plenty of bands that have that sort of, I guess you could look at it as like a handicap, but it's also just the way they are.
Yeah.
Where it's like bands have just, or songwriters just have their way of doing things.
It's also not as obvious to people who are listening to it for the first time.
Sure.
No, it's like when you hear something for the first time,
you're
just taking it in.
The unfortunate reality is that nobody else is ever going to hear these songs more times than you have. Nobody alive will ever have listened to these songs more than you.
You're damn right about that, Brian. I am embarrassed to say that my Spotify Wrapped has had my own band on there more years in a row than I'd like to admit. And it's mostly because I'm comparing mixes. I'm not even the guy producing the stuff, but I'm listening back and forth between like what the EP sounds like versus what the album sounds like versus this band that I really like their mix versus this other band's mix. Like, is it loud? Is it quiet? I'm doing that so often, and sometimes it's subconscious that like it's like you listen to Godless for the most amount of streams today. And I'm like, God, okay, great, yeah. But it's
that's actually another interesting kind of like road to go down here, because not only are we talking about like identity and songwriting, but like identity and sound in terms of production and being in a unique position where you are doing a lot of self-production. You're kind of getting to dictate what the band is going to truly sound like from every angle.
Yeah, I try
Why put yourself through that?
Yeah, because I hate myself.
Because we want it to be as difficult as possible.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It's not prog metal without pulling a few hair strands out.
It's just like I guess like whenever was mixing the album, there was a time leading up to the album where I had a very clear idea of what I wanted it to sound like and like production wise. And then the more we worked on it, the less I cared about that. And the more I wanted it to sound how it just like sounded. So especially like once we recorded drums, I was just like, I'm not going to make them sound like something else. It just sounds like what it sounds like.
Sure, of course.
And then build off of it from there.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of what we ran into with the EP because it was our first time like not just going to a studio, like a legit studio for and it like wasn't our own kit. Like we just kind of like set up with like whatever we thought would be all right. Like I think you guys like said something about like the actual like pedal that you were using for the kick drum. Like it was like a softer sound than what we needed. Like we needed it to be punchier, but there. Like it's just one of those things. Like we really have to roll with the punches, like in that regard. Like, and you don't notice until you're already driving back from Baltimore and then making the most of it. But
because like when I think about it, my favorite albums of all time like always have a certain amount of imperfections.
Yes,
and the I guess the through line for all of them is they all sound very like natural and real. Even like I like Periphery a lot.
Yeah,
and even Periphery always sounds like natural to me, even though they're kind of like at the forefront of like production. I don't know. So that's just something I like. I always want it to sound like a band is playing.
And you mentioned that, like I was going to go into like the human element of it, because it's almost like comparing really anything. Like it could be paintings, it could be the topic of tattoos comes up with like human imperfection. Like you could try and find someone that looks like they're just like laser copying something, but like if it has a little bit of imperfection, I think that's what makes it human. And so when you take that into music, especially for our like a band as small as ours, I know with certain vocal takes, you'll tell me like, I I will want to re-record. I'll want to be like, I can really do that better. Like I know that I can like nail that. And you're like, actually, this kind of works. Like this.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, your voice did a thing there that you didn't mean to do. That I just love the sound of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like,
that happens a lot.
Yeah. I think like my best advice for like tracking stuff, vocals, or really anything, is to just like be patient. Make sure you have time, and within that time, like do passes on a day and let them sit. Mm-hmm. Don't listen to them. Come back and listen to it with fresh ears before you're like, oh, I should redo this. Because 9 times out of 10, you're like, oh shit, this actually sounds fine. Or I was just I've been screaming for fucking 4 hours straight. Can I even trust that I can even hear anything? Like the noise in my head is just static right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what's supposed to sound good.
It's true. Yeah.
You know, I have like fucking 48 ounces of cold brew coffee in my system. I'm just fucking tweaking.
Yeah. For us, it's like, because I do both the singing and the screaming in the band. There have been songs where Dom has jumped on for like clean vocals. That like a lot of it is him doing harmonies actually, but the song Edward Scissorballs, he is the one that is doing the clean vocal for the most part, and
just on the chorus.
Yeah. And I jump in for the last chorus, so like I become like the backup, but also the harsh vocals like throughout the entire song. So it's like it's an interesting dynamic that like I think you said like Avenged Sevenfold did it or something like that, where like they have the guitarist sing a few songs.
That too.
There you go. Yeah.
Loath is an interesting one where to my ears the two, like they have a lead vocalist and then a guitarist sings too. Their clean vocals to my ear sound really similar, so it's like it's very seamless when they're...
Yeah, I was actually shocked the first time I saw them and realized that it was 2 different people.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah, I love
that.
Like
actually kind of like, you ever like, I have this like, it's very adolescent sort of viewpoint of like before you see a band for the first time, you have an idea of what everybody looks like, what it's going to be. And then you see it and you're like, wait, what?
I always do that.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, back to the human imperfections thing.
Sure.
You know, that's going back to the conversation of like having your own stamp on like what the sound of your band is. And sometimes like those imperfections aren't like, who's to say what is imperfect? I mean, obviously things can be out of key or off pitch, but sometimes those things, another thinking of Loathe and those clean vocals, very like Deftones adjacent. I don't know how the fuck Chino gets away with being like steps off.
But it still
sounds fucking incredible.
How does it sound good?
I don't know. It's a mystery. It's a white whale, but that's somebody that's a band that has leaned into their perfections and their own sounds. And you're like, oh, I know a fucking Deftones song when I hear one.
Oh yeah.
But there's so much stuff in like modern metalcore, like a lot of the like, you're like Bad Omens or name any other band, they all fucking sound the same to me. Maybe that's just me, you know, like maybe it's just not for me. But when I listen to it, at least in terms of like the production, it's like everything sounds so cookie cutter. Like it could be any fucking band. And then the vocalist is unique. Like sure, like Bad Omens has a unique vocalist or like what President or
I was saying Sleep Token. Sleep Token is like, you want to talk like unique styles, like for the genre, I think he's really
definitely
pushing the mold, so to speak. But like it's funny to say that when it's like their band is so fucking huge that like who cares what the mold is at that point? But like it's doing well. I mean, they're
really, really. I mean, as individuals, they're all very, very talented. I could just very much accept the fact that it's just not music for me.
No,
I listen to a lot of objectively very bad fucking music written by people that are way less objectively talented than Sleep Token. So I'm not getting on any fucking soapbox here. It's just not for me. Yeah. It's just so weird where it's like so much of this stuff when I hear it as an outsider, it's like it sounds like all of this music is being written by the same 3 people. And they're just like inserting different vocalists on it.
That's something that we had a discussion at some point, because there was a time where I had been so used to a specific sound that I was like, you know, like we could start incorporating more elements like of this, like a different production style, or whether it's like I don't even know, like an effect like on the vocals like that they're doing that we're not. Like it was you that put your foot down more or less to be like, no, I don't necessarily want to have this like just because it's popular and like it fits this mold, like I don't want us to feel like we have to fit the mold to be successful. You know, like I want us to have this sound that we can fall back on, that we enjoy, and is not like something that like we feel like is like stressful to achieve, you know?
Yeah, I definitely want to always do stuff that is going to age well. I mean, that's not my main objective, but like stuff that I don't want to do trendy things for sure. Yeah. Like I just want to just do something that I know is going to sound good over
something
time.
That I think is cool. Yeah. Like that. Going back to the saxophone thing, like the saxophone thing was just like, I had known, there's really not a ton of metal bands that do that, but the one that everyone thinks of is Rivers of Nile. Like they definitely like pioneered that sort of sound. And then there's the band Shrezzers, which I think they're from Russia, I believe, but they do a lot of saxophone, and I think that's a really cool implementation of it. Like they lean more metalcore than they do anything else. But yeah, my point is like as long as we have something that like I can listen to, like however many years later, like I think our EP is like what, like
it's like 3 years old.
3 years old, yeah. I can still go back and listen to those songs and be like, we did some pretty cool things with that. And definitely. A lot of them were like on a whim. Like a lot of the ideas, like it's really subtle, but there's bit crushing on the vocals through the Eat Shit Robots. Like some of the screaming parts have that like that really crunchy bit crush effect to it. And there was a point where it was a lot more prevalent in the mix, where we were just like, you know, what if we just kind of like push it down a little bit so that it's like the people that like are paying attention, like they will hear it, but anyone that's not, it just sounds like an added like texture to it, you know? Right. So that I listened back to that and I'm like, that I think we made the right call. Like that sounds cool without being so in your face with it, you know?
There's a lot of tweaking and like analyzing after we get a first mix. There's a lot of iterations of a mix for us.
For sure.
Another interesting thing is that like Addie and I specifically within the band really like electronic music. For me, like the big ones are like Gunship. We both really like Porter Robinson. And like almost like more than like metal influences, because like the metal influences are inherent and they just like happen. So we usually don't have to like talk about it too much. But we talk about Porter Robinson a lot, like when we're doing mixes and stuff.
The two artists that he mentioned, he got me on the Gunship and I got him onto Porter. So it's a lot of those like, because I grew up on metal, but I also grew up on a ton of like, whether it's electronic, whether it's like pop, whether it's indie, I like to think that I listen to a pretty wide variety for like considering people that are like in this genre. Like at the risk of it sounding like, oh, I'm so diverse with my music taste, but it really is like I'm pulling a lot of inspiration from like places that like you probably would have never guessed. Like there's been a couple instances where you're like, I would have never guessed that this is like what you were thinking of. Like it was like a Skrillex song that I heard back in like 2015 that I was like, this is the inspiration behind this effect that I want to go for. And you're like, that's ridiculous. Let's do it. Like, basically.
Oh, yeah. Make it work somehow.
Yeah, with pulling like those, that's the thing that's so... I make loud, stupid music for ding dongs as well, right? And it's tough because it's really easy to put yourself in a box and do things by the books the way that you air quote should.
Yeah.
But when you have all these outside influences, you're like, fuck it, let's just do it.
Yeah.
But then it comes time to start like, I don't know, marketing or talking about your band, promoting your band. What does it sound like? You know, then it's like, I don't fucking know. Like what, like, you know, then trying to find bands to play with. And it's like, are we, in my head, I'm like, it makes sense for us to play together.
Sure.
But for other people, maybe it's like, why is this band on this show? They're not this enough, or they're too much of that. And like, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's so hard trying to like fit in, but also be unique.
It's good that you bring that up, because there was a point in my head that I was thinking about how, like, on our Spotify page, I believe I had put that, like, I describe our sound as like, it's almost like deathcore adjacent, because I listen to a ton of deathcore, and now you do too as well. There's that influence that comes in through the vocals specifically, I think, is like where that like adjacency comes from.
Yeah, mostly in the vocals.
Yeah, but the like we'll get put on a bill with like a couple slam bands, and then we have clean vocals. Like it's like it's just so tricky in that regard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've definitely been on a couple shows where we're like playing, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if we're like people are digging
like
us that
sometimes
much.
I was getting a little too into my head about it sometimes, but then after a while, like before we even go on, I'm just like, you know what, like, who cares? Like, there's probably people that are like just like me in this crowd that are like, they also listen to freaking 1975 on the weekends,
there like this, and you can't
know
tell
what I mean?
that they actually really like it.
Yeah.
Like, they will also at least appreciate what we're going for, instead of just hoping that it's just breakdown after breakdown after breakdown. You know, so not that I love that shit. Like, I'm not going to pretend like it's not a self-indulgence in the same way that like I can listen to J-pop, or I can listen to just video game soundtracks. Like I can hear all of those different things, and also love like a fucking peeling flesh beatdown, just like in your face, like sort of thing. Like it's one of my favorite things to talk about, like the diversity of music.
We like to go to deathcore shows together too. Like we saw Signs of the Swarm. We saw Chelsea Grin, couple other things. I'm a big fan of Chelsea Grin and like Darko and stuff.
Yeah.
That's like something, like we've gotten pretty heavy on like at certain points in the album, but like, Acacia Strain's another one.
What?
For like Warped.
Oh, like influences.
Influence.
Yeah. I've had people compare my vocals to Acacia Strain's vocalist.
That definitely.
I've also gotten Adam Warren from Oceano, which those guys are great. I mean, I know that they were doing like a farewell tour or something, so like it's that much is unfortunate, but like Adam's still the man. So like it was really cool getting that like comparison at one point.
We just like want to sprinkle all of the things in within a 35-minute album, and it's like video game, like you like such a video game.
I adore
fanatic,
video games.
So like
I
there's
can't
always
help
that. Always like a adventurous, video game-esque kind of storyline to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all kind of like makes sense going back to me saying like everything felt very like it was really like storytelling in the compositions and the way things were written. So even if there isn't even anything that sounds like overtly video game-esque, I still think like in the DNA of it, there's just like the way things are moving. It's like, oh, we're trying to do more than just like a bunch of mediocre whatever to get you to the breakdown or to get you to this or that. It seems like every part has like an intention behind it.
Yeah, I think the lyrics included too. Like, he writes the lyrics pretty much exclusively. Like I and we almost never have any notes like with the lyrics, although he'll do like 7 drafts that are completely different. Like the draft one, I'm like, this is really good. And then draft 2, he like scraps the whole thing. I'm like, this is really good. And then
there will, and for each and every single one, I'll be like, I'm not married to this idea. So like, if we want to change it, that's fine. And you're like, for the love of God, don't change it again. Like, this is like, you know what I mean?
But I think that the lyrics, at the end of it, I always really enjoy the lyrics and like the storytelling that he comes up with. It's just like,
which I don't even try to like do stories, so to speak. There are certain songs that like, I don't want to think of examples right now, but there are songs that like they definitely follow a more like derivative like story path. 906, for example. 906 is just about a guy going crazy. Like he sees the things happening in the world, and he sees that like he starts to think lowly of like the people around him, the world surrounding him, and it isn't until the point that like where I think like you could say the song like reaches its climax, like that he just kind of like accepts that, and there's no more room on his hand left to count the days. Like that was like the motif that I was trying to like carry with it, with the idea. So you can kind of like feel yourself like take on that sort of like a like craziness element of just like how much farther can we descend like into like, because the big theme of Lysandra is there's so much shit in the world that is just like
worth hooting and hollering about.
It's worth hooting and hollering, and it's also just so easy to like just be sick of like certain things. You know, each Shit Robots is all about like giving the middle finger to AI, basically, which is more relevant now than ever.
Yeah,
you know,
it's kind of about like getting like doom scrolling and
yeah,
stuff like that.
And
it's also just like I think he comes up with like really interesting perspectives too. You know, like one thing you talk about a lot is like he's trying not to use the word I or me in songs.
Okay,
that's
or you. Like
we were talking about the like I have like certain not mannerisms, but like just like certain ways about going about writing that I try to adhere myself to. If I avoid using the words I and you, then I tend to write more abstract lyrics because you just have to dance around the subject a lot. And I think it's a good way to, especially if I feel like I'm stuck on a certain topic, then I try to remember that. Because like I don't completely avoid it. There are plenty of songs that like they still have that like personal thing to
it's
it.
still like a cool exercise, like to challenge, you know.
Yeah, but there is definitely a like a way of like if I feel like this song shouldn't be as personal, it should be more abstract, than that. Doing that specifically like helps me revolve the topic around that more or less, so to speak. So yeah, it's writing is fun no matter what, and as long as I'm having fun, that's really the big thing that I want to focus on if I can help it.
Yeah, almost like I think like maybe once or twice I just can't write lyrics. I don't like when he writes lyrics, I'm like, how do you come up with this? This is like, where do you even start?
Yeah.
And the most I'll do is like kind of whisper scream gibberish into a demo and be like, check out
like
this.
here's like a cadence.
Here's
rhythm.
a cadence.
Yeah.
And then he'll take it and be like, yeah, that sounds cool. And then just like come back with something that's way cooler anyway. So it's just like, I just wasted my time.
A lot of things that end up happening, because we talked about how we change titles and things like that, which everyone does, but some of the songs, I just kind of take the title and run with it. Like whether it's a working title, whether it's like something else. Godless, for example, is one of those tracks where I feel like it was, I think it was one of those songs that's like, it should be called this because that's just such an aggressive sounding name. But then I took that and lyrically ran with it. So the song ended up being about like it ironically ended up becoming a bit of a misnomer because it's about people who use faith as a justification to do terrible things still. Like as long as as long as I believe in God or adhere to whatever religious practice, I can still just be a dickhead to everyone else around me. Like they use it as a justification, and it's a way of saying like no to all of that. Yeah, like what are you doing? Like so.
Eat Shit Robots was a song on the EP that I sent him a demo, and I just like called it Eat Shit Robots
because it sounded like you're shooting lasers with robots.
I was like, take that. Yeah. And then he was like, okay, and wrote the lyrics around that, and so now it's the name.
But
the only
go ahead.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Maybe. I
the only one. Well, I wrote a demo and I called it Edward Scissorballs, and he didn't like that
at first. Yeah.
But
anyways.
And then he has never seen the movie Edward Scissorhands, and so he wrote he read about it on Wikipedia and wrote the lyrics based on that. And I thought that was so funny.
Very, very, I tried to keep it as loose as possible because, again, I don't know. I know fuck all about this Johnny Depp ass movie. So, like, I'm just, like, trying to make this title work because there was a point where I was just like, this is so stupid. Like, I don't know what to write about right now. So I just looked up the movie and I made it extremely vaguely about it. but while still like talking about something like more personal, that's just
Yeah.
like, oh, grappling with mental health, like being complacent with your poor stance in mental health.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely deeper meaning to it. And it's still called Edward Scissorballs. It's the one that everyone loves to bring up too.
Yeah.
So I
can't-
have to kind of be okay with it to an extent, you know.
I
So.
can't take full credit for that title though, because that was actually Jacob's. I think he said it first. He was our former guitarist. He moved to Baltimore.
Guitarist in spirit.
Yes,
He's
still
still
with us.
very, very supportive.
But I think he said it first, and I was like, oh, that would be such a good song. And so here we are.
Here we are. It's on the album. It's
Yeah.
like the fucking second track or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's also still one of my, like, musically speaking, it's one of my favorite songs on the album. That and honestly, Catalyst was a track that, because we have two songs that are like slower, I guess you could say. They're at least not like as like punchy as the rest. You know, they have their punchy moments, but they're not like in your face like how like Warped or Godless are. Catalyst specifically was a really, really dumb name that we had to pivot away from as quickly as possible. And by quickly as possible, I mean like several years down the line where we had to, okay, we're putting this out in the world. We need to change this title. It was like some like,
It was too stupid.
It was
actually the title was so stupid that it was like inhibiting his ability to write lyrics.
you came up with it at like probably in the middle of the night. You're like, I need to name this file.
Yeah,
And, like,
that's usually what happens. Like when I
Totally,
send
yeah.
him demos
Yeah.
with stupid names, it's like
And so effectively I was just like, what makes sense for this track that also it was Kanuna Dudis.
yeah.
That's what it was. Kanuna Dudis, which is just if you have a brainworm like him and I, you realize that that's just a really dumb way to say the word coronavirus.
Because that's when I wrote it.
And I'm like, yeah, you wrote that when you were like at 3 a.m. like trying to get this done.
That's how
But
old that song is too.
Yeah. So there you go. Like 4 or 5 years, however long. But we were like, Catalyst still makes that same center of my brain click, like title wise, it still makes sense. And it also has something to do, like it's relevant to the lyrics.
Mhm.
And that's also the song that I think it's the only song that uses a sample, right?
Like for the drums?
No, for like just a audio sample.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was that from? God of War?
Yeah, it's from God of War. It's a quote from the main character Kratos. He it's like this like monologue, which happens like very, very late in the game, but that song has that sample. And the big reason that I wanted to incorporate something like that was because the name Lysandra itself is a God of War reference. So that is which is something else that I wanted to bring up. We're talking about naming songs. Naming the freaking band
Oh, that was tough.
was a whole nother experience.
Oh man.
Because I'm sure you understand, you've been around enough bands in general to just like getting a room of 5 people to agree on anything, whether it's dinner or whether it's like whatever it might be. Now make all of those people very creatively minded, and suddenly you have
and all 5 of them are just like complete dumbasses.
Yeah, that's what it's. You kind of have to just like, I don't know. I've found in my experience where it's like, I don't know. Anytime I'm like starting a project these days, it's like I got like 1 or 2 other people with me. It's like we're the core, we're the decision makers. Let's find some good people. Let's figure out most of this stuff now. Then we'll fill in the blanks with people from there. Not to be like a total shithead about it, but that's just like how it's been for me.
I think for us, it was like we have to have a name that everyone is like okay with, like saying, oh yeah, I'm in this band. Or like they just want to be excited to write for a band that is called this band. So it's like we had to have everyone on the same page. And
we did some stupid things too to like we were so just like we couldn't think of anything that we liked. We called our friends.
oh yeah.
And we're like,
yeah.
quick, name your 3 favorite words.
Your 3 favorite words.
But then when you put people on the spot like that, they just say stupid shit.
Donut.
Yeah, like they would say like snake.
Or like one of our friends was like right on the ball. Like we called her. Yeah, she was like, we were like, hey, I need you to say your 3 favorite words immediately. Chrysanthemum.
It was either like they say something really stupid or they're just like, oh, I can't think of any words.
Yeah, that's how desperate we were at a time. And I don't even know.
It was I guess the solution to it was so anticlimactic because like you just like you just texted it in the group chat and was like, how about Lysandra? Like there was no conversation going on.
That's how it always goes.
And it was the first message sent that day too, I'm pretty sure.
And he was like, how about Lysandra? And I was like, yeah. And then Connor was like, yeah.
And everyone else is like,
yeah, I guess
yeah, so. Yeah. And then I remember saying, okay, yeah, let's put that in our back pocket and like, let's keep coming up with ideas. And they're like, no more. Do not do that. We finally found something we agree on. Please. That was such a conversation. But
yeah, I literally just went through this. I have a new band with some degenerates that we've been.
Oh yeah.
We've been writing and stuff for like the past. We actually started it like a year ago. Just me and one other person. Then we got somebody. Me and one other person made the name. Got some other people, but just between the two of us, it was just like so much back and forth of all this. Just like, how do you come up with? There's so many, like, the world has enough bands, you know, we don't, what do you name it?
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it's like, you know, I can understand like all of the like younger people that are like doing things with like weird characters or spelling things weird. It's like, bro, I'm like fucking 60 years old. Like, I can't do that.
I guess the problem is like, it's like you can, like in this day and age, like with so many bands and band names, like you can like do something generic and kind of cheesy, or you can do something crazy but then it's like
blanking
usually,
the blank.
Yeah, it has to be like super long and like I don't know.
It's like the ones that work. It's always like, you know, like back to Bad Omens. Like what a bullshit dumb name for a band, but it works.
Yeah,
it's simple enough. President. What?
Yeah. Sure.
How did nobody think of that one?
I know. How is that the first
Spirit
president?
Box?
Yeah.
Give me a fucking break.
Spirit Box, I've gone on record as being like, this is a pretty tight name.
It's a great band name. None of these are objectively bad band names. It's just like they're so simple. And then there's like the whole other like can of worms. Like, okay, it's 2026. If you're gonna be in a band and promote your band, you gotta have social media. So it's like, okay, am I gonna have to be fucking Brian's metal band 1 2 3 4? Or can I actually get like, you know, can you find like a handle? And like I'm talking like this is like fucking hackers and like my handle is so important. But can you have a handle that is like unique into you?
Right.
And that was the thing with the band I just mentioned was like we need to find a band name that like everything on social media can just be that. And there isn't one on Spotify already.
Yeah.
And we found one.
Yeah.
So we're like, sweet.
Well, that's the other challenge. Is like you have to make sure it's not taken already.
Yeah.
Like,
sorry, Brian. Brian's band 1 2 3 4 has already been taken. Could you try Brian's band
1 2 3 4 5?
Yeah.
Well, it's like I think I really wanted it to either be like a one word or like just like simple, like Lysandra is a one word, kind of like periphery or whatever. You can just kind of say it really quickly.
Yeah.
Loathe.
Like,
or the other option I wanted it to be, if it wasn't that, was like something totally long-winded. Like there's a band called The Number 12 Looks Like.
Oh yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Like, and I was like, that could be cool. But it's like,
I don't know how, but
I don't want to say that all the time.
Yeah. Like there's plenty of bands that like, I still want to write a song that like just to fill that like early like 2000s like metalcore thing. Like I really want to have a song that has like a really long name, like just one. That's it.
Like Bless the Marta era Norma Jean song titles that are just like 2 fucking sentences
Norma
long.
Jean or Asking Alexandria did a lot of that.
Album. Every single song is an independent clause.
Yeah.
It's like
it's its own thesis statement. Yeah. Like I don't know. I live for that stuff, man. I got it.
You can throw one of those on an album. Just like,
that's why I'm okay with like the concept of like an Edward Scissorballs, for example. Like there are times when like I struggle with that creatively, but then I'm also like, that would be kind of funny. Like, you know, like I want to have like something that I can like talk about and like enjoy. Like,
we like to have the occasional thing that makes us go, hey, that would be kind of funny. Because we're all shitheads and we like to chuckle at ourselves.
You're right. That's true. I
don't know if there's any.
I think that I always tend to, especially these days, really appreciate a little bit of self-awareness that you could see in a band. Just like a little bit of like, you know, you don't need to take this so seriously. Even some of the most optically intense bands that exist have their silly moments.
Yeah.
Right? And I always appreciate that. So it just makes it more human versus trying to be like this, I don't know, super... I feel like the word pretentious is overused, but you know, just very like, oh, this is me and my serious art. It's like, motherfucker, Bjork already exists. We don't need anybody else in the world to try to do this. Bjork's the only one that gets the pass.
Yeah, it's like, because I guess the music is so inherently serious. It's hard to find, like, you kind of need a break from it in some way, even if there's not like an audible break in the music.
Sure.
There's like, oh, what's this song called? Oh,
yeah.
Edward Scissorballs. That's fucking stupid.
And there are bands that I think it's like every song is like a weird name. And that's when I'm like, all right, like I want to hear some sincerity behind it. Yeah. But then, you know, it's a fine line like anything else. I like all of it in a grand scheme of things. But yeah, for us specifically, like if we come up with another silly name, I'm more than happy to like explore the whatever the stupidity of it might be, you know, as I punch this microphone. Let me just get that out of the way real quick.
I feel like, you know, there's a certain level of manicuring and finessing that goes into anything that you're taking seriously, right? Like, you know, you're putting time into writing these songs and recording them and fine-tuning them and rewriting 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 them. So, you know, like you obviously care about them, right?
Yeah.
But
final draft.
You need those
two.
You need those elements that still like make it human. And I feel like something like a Edward Scissorballs, right?
Yeah.
Using that as an example, it's like there's no like manicured or like PR move behind this. This is just like a dumb decision that stuck around and it was like, fuck it. And like what I relate so much with the fuck it of it all. It just makes it like versus like maybe a big part of my problem with Sleep Token. Back to that. It's just how manufactured it is and how specific everything has to be. And granted, people like that. They like the theatric nature of it. And I like theater too. That's great. But I don't know. It's just...
There's a lot of fucking...
Maybe if I would have heard Sleep Token when I was like fucking 15, it probably would have warped me.
That's exactly it.
You know what I mean? The first time I heard Sleep Token, I was 76 years old. So it's just like, I've had it. You know, I've had enough.
Yeah. There's a lot of fuck it with us. Just because like, we get too in the weeds sometimes, and then
it's really easy to do so.
And then
get in the weeds.
We kind of like drive ourselves crazy, and then we go, oh fuck it, whatever. Like, it's just
you have to stop at some point because you know that you're gonna have the thing like be done, and then the next thing is only gonna be better, basically.
And like that, the album title was kind of like fuck it too.
Yeah,
weirdly, the album title was like the first thing we came up with.
It was one of the quickest decisions we made.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
And that ended up being like a long-winded, you know, full sentence. The birds don't sing like they used to, which like there's no...
Which I guess we haven't said out loud this entire time.
That's what it's just the album. The name.
The EP.
The album.
Yeah.
I think I just like said it in the group chat, and I was like, the lyrics overall remind me of this concept. It was like something I thought of, and then everyone was just like, yeah, that makes sense. And then
it's profound enough in a way where you don't have to think too hard about it. And, you know, sometimes that's all you really need.
Yeah.
And it was also just like, we need a fucking name. We need to I am so done thinking of names. Like, we have an album ready. We basically have album art too. I don't even remember like which came first, but we were just like, please.
The album art was like, we had in like 2020, basically we started the band, basically just me and Addie.
More or less.
We were working together on other things, and then I started showing him demos, and he was just like offered his ideas on top of them because I wasn't doing anything with them. And we just started doing things and just created basically like a whole album's worth of material that we never like fully recorded. And some of that stuff still exists in the ether in our Google Drive.
Yeah.
But isn't like stuff that's on the album. And we had like this whole idea for album art that kind of manifested in this album, but just a little bit differently. Just like the album art essentially is a keyhole, and you see like this mountain range with birds through it. And we had like a different version of that at first.
Like, it was still in a dark void, but the silhouette was different. So I was like, what if we took that more literally? Yeah. And it's like, you're in the dark void, but you're peering through this keyhole and you're seeing out, you know? So,
yeah. I just thought it was interesting, like, because in my mind, I was like, oh, that's an old thing that we have moved on from. That's just like whatever. And then I don't know who thought about bringing it back first.
But it had to have been me. Like, if it was you and I, like, tossing this old ass idea back and forth.
We were just like, what if we revisit that idea and kind of change it a little bit? And
I remember when he first started showing me ideas, like way back when, I was like, you need to show the world some of these things. Like, it took that effort to just kind of be like, this is sick. Like, we could, if I threw some vocals on this, like, this could be a real ass song, you know? Like, we had to not only take the stuff that like could be usable, but also make it to a point where it's like, okay, we could have another guitarist play this. We could have a bassist do this. We could have drums that sound realistic and also lend themselves well to the overall like vision of it, I guess. So it's funny. We were like at the very, very beginning of this episode here, we were talking about other bands like Heading North and Pitter Patter and things like that. But like, I think one of our old things ended up becoming like
that's
riff
right
that they used.
Yeah. One of the Heading North songs on the EP, the first song on Heading North's EP. Why can't I think of? I'm totally blanking because I always just play it from the beginning. I don't look at the song titles. And now all I can think of is the demo name that I had for it.
Yeah,
but that was a song that we were working on. And we stopped working on it, and it wasn't like jiving with us.
We just couldn't make it work. As like a metal song, we couldn't make it work.
And I showed it to Aiden, and I was like, "Do you guys want to use this song?" And they were like, "Yes." And
this would make a great pop punk song. Not a great metal song, but a great pop punk song.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that was like that was one of the songs that we had like in our first iteration of this album actually. I totally forgot about that. Another thing that happened was like, if we would have stuck to that plan that we had originally of just like releasing those songs, we would have done so. I was doing everything with programmed drums at that time. Yeah. And now at this point, everything that we've actually released has been like actual recorded drums, no samples or anything. It's just like, and I'm so much happier with that. So it's like, you know, the fact that we procrastinate so much and drag our feet and, you know,
I think
get lost in the weeds. That kind of works in our favor because now I'm like ultimately much happier with the.
I think I was also like, you know, this is all really cool, but I do kind of want to have a sound, you know, like if we really did just throw all of that out into the void, then it would have been like, we would have been one of those bands that's like, okay, like I can see what happened with these albums, but like, what the fuck is that first album? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Knowing how I mixed at that time, if you were to hear those, you know, as a final mix, then they would probably sound like demos to you now, you know?
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to like what the stuff sounds like.
I'm really happy with the way, like how far along we've come with the overall sound. And I mean, you're doing a lot of the production work. Like I tend to like struggle a little bit with like how much I feel like I can contribute to the band specifically. But then I remember, okay, it's vocals are a big aspect, lyrics are a big aspect. Like it's not just, you know, like the computer element of it, so to speak, like doing everything like in the studio and the production and everything, like is like it's a whole another can of worms. So like someone else has to be able to do the other stuff too.
Yeah.
Like,
another thing that adds to the just like the difficulty of our writing and recording process is like Addie has a bad habit of when we're in the final like stage of mixing and mastering, he's like, can we change this part? Would it be cool if we did this? And I'm like, it would not be cool.
that would not help at all, actually.
Then he sometimes convinces me, and I'm like, now I have to like get my hands dirty again and like open all this shit up that I have like perfectly placed and like.
You painted the picture, and now it's like you have to like kind of scrape away
does it
like that one little part.
Yeah.
You know?
And then I have to, but then I do it, and then like when it's done and I'm like I'm a little bit disconnected from it, I'm like, oh, that was cool. Actually, that was a good decision.
Yeah.
Even though I hated you
Because
for a second.
Again, going back to how often I end up listening to our own songs, I think it's because like there are really just certain things that I hear, and then I'm like, I should really bring that up to him at some point. And being the procrastinators that we are, and that I am specifically, you know, that idea doesn't always get illustrated until the very last second. So I'm like, man, I really wish this part was a little different. I'll bring it up to him eventually. I'll bring it up at the next practice, and then we do something else entirely. I'll bring it up next time we go to record. We're doing a different song. Like it's, that happens a lot in that sense. What I thought you were going to say was you have that I have a bad habit of is writing singing parts that are too high for myself.
That's also
because I do that by accident a lot, and I think it's just because of the bands that I listen to, and I subconsciously I'm like, this part would work so well, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I sound like this. I don't necessarily have a girly singing voice. Like I could if I really, really wanted to, but can I do that in the studio and live? Debatable.
Guess we'll find out.
Guess we'll find out for certain songs, but you know, like, and being the screamer and the singer, I can't be doing crazy shit like that. Like sometimes maybe, but like not every time. But,
yeah, I think we all definitely write things that are a little bit too difficult sometimes.
That's true. Yeah,
there's like Charlie, drummer, has definitely done it.
Shout out Charlie.
Shout out to Charlie. He's pretty cracked at the drums, but he's doing like hertas on his, just like on the kick pedal, and it's like at certain points, and it's like he has to do that live. And it always comes through, but like we all have like head scratching moments where we're like, why did we do it like that? Like,
it's a running joke that when we play live, Charlie always ends up taking his shirt off because he's just going so hard on the drums that like he has to, or else he's gonna melt.
Yeah,
like it's just such a funny thing to notice and be like, he's doing that thing again.
I will say that like I like probably in your experience too with like performing heavier music, even when it's like a little bit like kind of at the edge of your abilities, like the adrenaline that you get is a huge boost.
Are you talking for me specifically?
Well, yeah,
I
mean,
okay.
But even for me on guitar, sometimes like adrenaline rush can help.
The live aspect is easily my favorite part of music.
Like, I think that's where a lot of recorded heavy music suffers, is that it lacks that
rush.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to capture.
You have to
it's almost impossible to capture.
It is. Yeah.
That's, you get so many recordings that just sound not only too polished in terms of like production, but too safe in terms of performance.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. It's really, really hard to get like a good, this actually sounds like, the word I want to use is violent. Like I want this to sound like fucking aggressive.
Yes. Yeah.
I will say like,
I mean, bands do it. You can do it. It's just hard.
Yeah. I would say like for us, since we make everything so difficult for ourselves, by the time we get to the last take that actually like makes it on, we're so angry and like fed up that that's real emotion coming through.
I'm like, God, I'm so angry. I just want to tell a room of people to punch each other like right now. Like
the old fucking like you ever hear the stories about like Ross Robinson recording Slipknot and throwing like a potted plant at Corey Taylor in the vocal booth?
Yeah.
I've done that to him a couple times.
I'm like, where do you keep getting these plants? Like IKEA? I don't know. Like it's a ride. It's fun either way.
Yeah, I would say like whenever I'm recording myself on guitar, I get so, it's like I'm a perfectionist, but I also don't want things to be too perfect. So that almost makes you like more of a perfectionist, because like sometimes if you're like, that sounds too perfect, you kind of have to redo it again anyway. So it's like when I'm recording guitars, it takes a while, and by the end of it, I'm like, you like I start with a certain like pick attack, and then by the end of it, it's like way more aggressive than it was.
Yeah, I have this. You fucking heavy metal guitar fucking dorks. Hate all of you. Hate working with you. No, it's like anytime I'm recording somebody with a band or somebody else, it's like isolated. These parts sound fucking sick. But you got to think about this in the context of the whole song.
Yeah.
Like I could see what you're doing. I'm looking at your hands and this looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But audibleness of this, you can make that so much easier. Like your economy of motion can be so much better. It's going to sound exactly the same. And even if you're playing less notes and those notes have better attack, it's actually going to cut through the fucking mix better.
Yeah.
But it's like, but it's more simple. And it's like, it's not a fucking talent show.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, plus you got some fucking other idiot screaming on top of this. The drums doing this thing, the bass. It's like,
well, you have to write for the song.
But there's moments where like you do want to be able to have that like fucking, like you want to be able to flex and have a really cool riff if the part in the song calls for it.
Yes.
But sometimes it's like, we're just making this way too much. It's like, there's already so many other things happening in this section of the song.
Yeah.
You could scale it back.
Yeah. I mean, you're totally cognizant of that all the time.
I'm sometimes a little too aware of it.
Yeah. He'll be like, I can't scream over this part. There's too much going on. I'm like, but that would be sick. And then,
but I'm also like, I want to give this song room to breathe as well, because it really is like, there have been moments where I've been like, this would be a really cool instrumental song, and they're like, no,
we don't do that.
No, that would be dumb. But
I used to do vocals in a band called What's Left of Her. This was like 2010, and then they were already like incredibly musical songs. And then they started writing all of this stuff that like got to a point that it was like, I can't do vocals on this.
It's too much.
I can't do it. And like they're like, they wanted to try doing stuff with clean vocals, which I ended up stepping outside of the band. They ended up doing stuff with clean vocals. You ever heard Save Us from the Archon?
I've heard the name before.
Yeah, they ended up becoming Save Us from the Archon.
Okay.
Which instrumental band, super awesome dudes. Really, really good band. But that was the thing. It was just like, they tried it with the clean vocalist. It still didn't quite work out. Then they came instrumental. It was just like insane being in that position where it was like,
it wasn't, it was doomed.
I have been like, I don't know, like my job in this band is now obsolete. You know, it's like you have so much like rhythmic and melodic information going on. I feel like that's also what happened with like Night Verses, because they have that one record with the vocalist, and then everything else is instrumental.
There's a lot of
Intervals
bands
did that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did for a little bit.
There's one record with vocals, and it was just kind of like, it was like an Intervals record with vocals on top of it.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and it wasn't bad, but it just...
Or like when like Polyphia like features like a something, like it's either a singer or like a rapper or something.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't always jive with me, but like sometimes it does.
They've definitely
like,
gotten better at it though.
They got freaking Chino on one of the songs too. Like, so I don't know, like sometimes it works, but there's also like, let me throw a question out there. How do you feel about bands that like they release something, but then they also release the exact same album, but instrumental?
I don't always love that.
Yeah.
To me, that's like a band asking the world like, hey, do you think we should be an instrumental band? Like, do you hate our singer?
I think it's cool. I will say there was one band that Protest the Hero.
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember whenever they released Fortress, I bought it on iTunes and it came with the full album and the instrumental album. And it was actually really cool hearing the instrumental versions of that album because their vocalist is so much like, listen to me. Like,
he's really
layers
like
that. And there's so much and it all works. But there's so much extra production on that record that you don't even hear.
Yeah.
So it was cool to hear like the other side of it.
That is true. There are certain
from like just as like having somebody with like a producer's ear that likes to be able to hear that sort of stuff. It's really cool.
Yeah, you sometimes want to hear the stuff that's going on underneath that you don't really hear.
I mentioned Shrezzers briefly earlier, how they incorporate saxophone a lot. They kind of do that where they have tracks that feature the singing and screaming and then instrumental. And I think their instrumental is strong enough as is, but their vocals don't necessarily like take away from it. Like there's certain songs I feel like more strongly like about like one or the other. Like I prefer this versus this, but overall, I mean, I guess like I went into this question like without really having an opinion on the matter. I was just kind of like, I could see this being like weird. Like, oh, you have two of the exact same album, just one's instrumental. But I could see it being like, as long as it holds up, like it could be a whole different like listening experience, like without any
I think
vocals.
What ends up happening with us is like we have like the kind of technical parts, but they happen in between the vocals. And then if you were to like listen to instrumental parts, you would find that like it gets simplified once he's singing,
Yeah, there's like the first Tesseract 1, the vinyl was 2 disc and it came with the instrumental of all the stuff. And that was actually really cool just to hear the nuances and how they change parts between verses and just very subtle changes of just like, oh, now we're like muting the bass on this part.
Right.
And this is like, whoa, okay.
It's just like something happens that makes the vocals sit a little bit better. It just like makes the bed for the vocals to sit there.
And at least for our album, the last track, Don't Look Down, I remember you guys writing that riff and like the whole part that's now, I guess, considered the verse. Like it's pretty technical in the sense like, I don't know if you could just like pick it up and play it like right away. Like if you were just listening to the song and trying to play it again, like it's technical enough where it's like it's got this like pattern to it. But I remember you guys writing it and like not being certain about like how to go about like the vocals. But it was one of those rare instances where I had an idea right away and I wanted to go into and just like get like a scratch take like done at my computer and get something sent out there. And it might have been Jacob at the time that was like he had gotten so used to listening to the instrumental over and over that he heard the vocals. He's like, wow, this really opens the song up. Like it doesn't like feel like you're just like tacking that on. Like it really like fleshes it out, makes it feel like a song, if like so to speak. Like it like was like breathing this like life into it that it didn't have before. Yeah. And that was one of the best compliments I got, honestly. Like
I think it works
with
in
this
that
band.
instance because even though that's a technical part, it is like one of the few instances where it's like really repetitive.
Yeah.
So it's just like
that too, yeah.
It's the riff is really consistent and then the vocals are like kind of changing over it. So it's like a little bit different.
And then with the like you could say the chorus, like it's like the like it's descending like that. But then having the scream over top of it, like almost filling the gaps in. Like I think that's what really helps it like round it out, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that like if Scissor Balls is one of my favorite tracks, like that's also like easily like one of my favorites just because it evolves so much too. Like it definitely feels like like the last song on the album kind of song because it has so many like different like things going on with it.
We also have we have a handful. I mean, we have a lot of demos right now that we're working on.
Yes.
We randomly got a creative surge like right after we released the album, even though that was like maybe not the best idea. Like,
yeah, like we should really be promoting
work.
Yeah, we should be promoting this big ass album that we've been trying to like get finished and put out in the world, you know. But
we have all these demos now, and there's definitely like a handful that, you know, I kind of just did, and I wrote them, you know, at my computer with a guitar, and I was like super stoked about them. But everyone was like, "This is like just too complex right now. Like we can work on it, but we need to like simplify it a lot before vocals can even think about happening."
It was like that. It was like that exact conversation. Yeah, it was like, this is a little too much happening. Like this feels like a song is already done. You know, like, and that like whatever I add to it is just going to feel like extra. Like, but yeah, like we are really sitting on like a bunch of those demos that like, I mean, the second album is coming along. Like that's very, like I can confidently say that. Like
not on purpose, it just happened.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't know why.
Like we knew that we were going to be making more, but I guess we didn't think so soon in the grand scheme of things. I think it also helped that like we really didn't do a whole lot this winter in terms of performances and things like that. But mostly because like, I mean, the snow was just awful and everyone was miserable because they had to drive over like a mountain of snow just to park in a freaking parking spot.
It's the best time to write music.
Yeah, best time to not bug your friends to come out and pay $20 to come see you. Like, you know, totally. Like just stay home, just write the freaking song. Like, and so, yeah, we have a lot of material that we're working on. We have a lot of ideas that still need fleshed out, but there is a lot of potential behind a lot of them, and I'm really happy about that. Like, I feel like there's a lot of things that can be made that feel directionless or like they're just like too vague to have a general like thought on it. Like an idea like come from it rather. But yeah, these ideas that we all have, I'm feeling pretty confident with, and it's going to be interesting to see how it like evolves our sound, so to speak. Like, I think it's a good way to bring new ideas to the table, but also help round out our performance.
Something
just get it done.
I like think about now that, you know, this album is out. I'm like, I think about all my favorite artists and bands and like how their sound progresses, and I have that in the back of my mind. Like, oh, I wonder like what will sound like after this. Like, will our second album have like a different vibe to it? But then I feel like it is good to have a direction to go, but also not ideal to be like too stuck on it.
Sure.
Yeah. How often is your favorite album the first one that the band ever released? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it happens, but I feel like a lot of people, they'll say like, I mean, one of my favorite bands, A Day to Remember, is their fourth or fifth album is like my favorite. And that's a lot of time between putting out your first thing and getting all the way to the fifth freaking album. Like that, you know.
Which album is it?
It's often a toss up between Common Courtesy and what separates me from you. Like what separates is,
it's good.
I think overall like the most. It's personally my favorite, but Common Courtesy is the objectively better album. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you know,
it happens sometimes.
But anyways, another question I had on my mind is like, what do you think is like, because we were talking a little bit about like our demo ideas and how we flesh those out to become like these songs that are, you know, we get more people involved with. What is like the oldest track like that is on this most recent album?
A Safe Place is the oldest.
A Safe Place?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say too, but I wasn't sure.
The second to last track on the album.
It's the other like quiet track, quieter.
It's like just like a long, it's like the song's like 2.5 minutes and the whole thing is essentially a build up.
Yeah.
That leads into the last song.
Yeah.
I wrote that song for a project in a class when I was a freshman in college. And I mean, that one has seen more iterations and versions than anything else. I mean, I sent that to you initially like 3 versions ago. And then we recorded a version together, and then re-recorded it and then re-recorded it again,
Sure.
and which is what you hear now.
Yeah, when he's talking about like lyrics that change, that was the one that I think I changed the lyrics on the most because I was just like,
sat with it for
it
too long.
It doesn't feel right anymore, or this was a different time, or this was, you know, like now it sounds corny, or now it sounds whatever. But like, yeah,
well, if you sit with something for long enough without releasing it, you'll get tired of it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
there's something about like releasing it and you cut the cord that you don't think that way anymore because you know you can't do anything to it.
Yeah.
But if you sit with it, even if you're like, I bet even if the album that we have out that we're all really happy with, if it was exactly as it is now, but we hadn't released it, we'd probably be talking about changing things. We would still be,
of course,
complaining about the fucking names.
But something
or
about like you know, cutting ties with it and letting it go. We're just like totally content.
I think a lot about the old days. You know, I'm 96 years old, so you know, when I was a teeny bopper. No, but I mean, it used to be a very common thing if you look at the catalogs of old artists. You know, like a fucking like I don't know, like a fucking Johnny Cash or a fucking David Bowie or fucking whatever, right? Like these are artists that it wasn't uncommon sometimes for them to do the same song on different albums. Like do different recordings of the song that evolve and change in different ways, whether it be, you know, more elaborate in production or stripped down in production, it's still the same thing. And I think that something that or at least the way that I frame it is like this version of this thing that exists on an album I put out 5 years ago. That's just a receipt of what the song sounded like then.
Right.
And like those things change over time. Like bands, like over the course, like we still play that song live. And it's like if we were to record it today, there's nuances and things that would be different.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, well, that's what it sounded like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, that was the best that I could do then.
Yeah.
And you just kind of have to just let it go. And also too, like 5 years from now, if you wanted to re-record one of your songs, you could.
Yeah.
There's no fucking rules.
Dude,
if you like it enough, why not?
I always think about that. I'm like, what if we did re-release a track like, like you said, 5 years later, like, or if we did like, it sounds cliche, but like, what if we did an acoustic version? Like there's no like limit to like what we could realistically do with these tracks, like so on down the road.
Yeah.
So,
but I also like that it captures a moment in time.
Yeah.
You know, and then you can reflect on that and then
Totally.
you just like, you have to let it be what it is.
and it's like exactly what you said. This is the best I could do in that moment. Like I keep that in mind pretty regularly, actually. Like it's like, you know what? I might be able to do better, or I might be able to like keep revising this until it sounds a certain way. But it's just like fuck it, man. This is what I did.
I know
like,
for a fact
you know?
that like what we put out is the best that we could do for, you know, at the time.
Absolutely,
like, because we were so tired
Yeah.
at the end of it.
So tired, but so happy with it too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, just
I was like,
excited.
this kicks ass,
Like,
and
completely
I'm ready to
burnt
move
out.
on.
Yeah.
I've seen some bands, like there's a band that I really like called Dog Fashion Disco. And they like completely re-recorded their first album, like 20 years after.
Wow.
And it was really cool just to hear like, you know, the differences and also like a much more like modern, cleaner production, you know, because it was recorded in the 90s. So it was very like, just didn't sound as like big as it could have. But in a way, it was a little bit more punk in that way. But now it's like interesting to hear, again, just a much more, just it's a different interpretation of the songs. And it's like, why not? That's fun.
To me, that's like, if when I think about my favorite bands, if they did that, like to me, I'd be listening to two different albums.
Oh, yeah.
I would visit both of them equally, I think, but they would just be like essentially different albums to me because like they just like bands just change so much.
Didn't Lamb of God do something like that, or was it just like a remaster?
I think
like it was like 20 years later.
New American Gospel got like a really polished remaster for sure.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah,
I like that. The idea of just like bringing, even if it's just breathing new life into it by making it like, hey, remember this? Like then you just make it cleaner, make it cool. It's like remastering a video game. Here I go again with video games. But like it's like remastering an old ass game and like giving it like fresh new like coat of paint, you know.
That 8 to 16-bit conversion.
Yeah,
we got some more sounds to work with.
Or just HD remaster, you know? Like,
well, actually,
hey, you don't need 16 different consoles to play all the Kingdom Hearts games. You could just play them all on PS4 now.
Yeah.
Like cool, thanks. Like
nice.
It's just like shit like that.
Yeah, I think I don't know why I keep talking about Periphery today, but their first album is really iconic for a lot of people for like that sound. But a lot of people there are like talks of them like re-recording the whole thing. And it's like I always go back and forth between like, do I want that? Or like as a huge fan, I'm like, do I want to hear that? Like, yeah,
I kind of do.
Obviously, I want to hear that, but then I'm like, but then
sure, it's like seeing a new Back to the Future.
Yeah,
like you know, it's kind of already perfect.
Yeah,
I think we just leave it.
But would I stop listening to the first one? I don't know.
No, I think for me, it's more like at least that is the perspective of from a vocalist. Like Spencer's screams sound different now than they did back then.
Well, everything sounds different.
Everything sounds different, of course, but it's like notably his screams are the things that stand out to me. And I don't know if people point that out often. I don't know if that's a thing, but I would love to hear the new take on it, like a fresh coat of like. It might just be because he's older. It might just be whatever. But like,
it might be a more touchy thing, like re-recording for vocalists. You know, because like you hear your voice on that and all your vocal just like idiosyncrasies and imperfections, and like vocalists I think change the most probably in like sound and style just from like aging and
for sure. And
fair.
I think too another thing that will change for vocalists, especially somebody that's like in a position of Periphery, where you're maybe coming into this not being very classically trained, but over time you're consistently spending a decade plus of your life around top tier musicians. You're learning how to take care of your voice better, do things what you should and shouldn't do. And there's a lot of what you should and shouldn't do when it comes to harsh vocals and sustaining the long-term effects of being able to sing or do anything at all.
Yeah.
So that's of course going to change the way that you approach your harsh vocals.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when you sing and scream.
That's 100%.
Like,
you have to, I mean, it's human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, maybe there is some sort of like a cool pedal or plugin that you can do to fix some things like with a guitar player, but like it's different. It's still you're relying on that juicy meat inside your throat to get them sounds out.
That's your instrument.
Yeah.
And I know like in my, because I do a little bit of singing and even less screaming when we play live. And I know like, at least for me, like my singing kind of lives in one part of my, throat, chest, and my screaming just like lives in a different section of it. And it's like when I accidentally get caught in the in-between is like when I can kind of hurt myself. And that's like, I think about that a lot because I have like 2 lines that I scream in our shows. Like it is not a lot.
Yeah.
And then I sing like 2 choruses and then everything else is just like the occasional harmony. And that's it. And I can still feel pretty like beat up after that.
Yeah. Because
I would say like probably like 3/4 screaming, 1/4 clean. It would be like a good way to for you
for just in general.
Yeah,
I could kind of see that. Yeah, depends on the song, obviously, but I love when people ask me like they're like, does that like hurt after a while? And I'm like, dude, I would not be doing this if it hurt. Like seriously, I got better things to do than just like throw up on stage. You know, like it's a lot of like, and I love like teaching people how to do it too, because it's such a, you only really get good at it if you give a shit about it. Like you don't just learn to do it because, oh, this could be a useful skill. No, it won't. Like, it's not like learning Spanish. Like, you gotta like be able to put the time in and like make it work for yourself. And it wasn't until I had already like had a solid foundation of like my sound that I started to learn like the differences with false chords and fry screaming and everything in between. Like, yeah, it wasn't until I like had already been doing it for some time, like through high school and like on stages already and like other like random shit that like I was
in the car.
In the car especially, dude. Yeah. I mean,
metal vocalists.
They're like, oh,
shout out to metal vocalists
like,
who learned to scream in the car.
Oh, how did you learn? I sat in front of my speaker with a blown out satellite, like just like trying to copy my favorite songs, you know, like that. It's like anything else. So I'm sure you learn guitar by copying your favorite songs. Not in the car. What are you doing? I mean, yeah.
That's one area that we differ. But, you know, I mean, I also, actually, the parts that I sing on in our songs, I kind of like nailed them in the car. I don't know why. Yeah. It's just like the perfect place to practice singing. Yeah. Like I wouldn't practice at home for some reason until I recorded it.
See, I can't practice at home because I'm in an apartment. So like I would piss everyone off in my building if I'm just...
Or scare them away.
Yeah, that too. Maybe that I should do that. I should scare them away and then I can finally practice for real.
I think the car is a good spot because of how unintentionally it is in terms of like the acoustic treatment.
I was just about to say that. It's like foam inside, but
like a living room, you're going to get...
It's so much louder.
It's so much louder. It's bouncing. It's going to hit you in a way where it doesn't sound right. But in a car, you get like a really good,
it's just
clean, natural. You could, I'm hearing myself.
All right, Dom, bring your laptop into the passenger seat next time. Yeah. Like it's also, I did a couple songs where sometimes I'm standing in the booth and sometimes I'm sitting because after a while I was like, I wonder if it's because I'm sitting down that like my diaphragm has like a specific like, it's like, I don't even know what the right word is, but like something about it is like doing it where it's like making it project more. And like, I feel like I can like shape my voice better because I'm not focusing so much on it. Like when I'm like standing up first, like per se. So it's a funny thing to think about. Like, it's like, you can't have these conversations with anyone else besides musicians. Like, you know what I mean? That's the greatest thing about it.
The like, tricky, because like we did end up recording a couple songs with him sitting down.
Yeah.
The tricky part is like, we talked about like, you need the adrenaline earlier. So it's like, you still have to like psych yourself up, but you're sitting down. And that's like harder to do like when you're just like comfy. And just like, now I have to scream.
Yeah.
So that's why we didn't do every song
That's why we keep the same shitty metal chair that we've had for like 37 years. Like, you know, like
I have a really uncomfortable chair.
You don't want to get too comfortable.
So I guess that's how it works.
There you go.
Like that there's no padding on it whatsoever. I mean, there's like what looks like padding, but it's just like these metal rails just digging into your ass.
It's like a mimic chest. It wants you to believe that it has these qualities that it just simply does not have. Yeah. On the outside, it might, but
so that's actually the key to sounding like Addy.
Yeah, if you want to scream, just
sit on.
Just be really uncomfortable. Yeah, just just think about all the different things you'd rather be doing and then channel that into your screaming ability and you will get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, do you have any questions for us, like specifically? Like, was there like some, like you heard a song and you're like, oh, I wonder if X, Y, and Z, like, I don't know. Like, is there something you had?
Not anything incredibly nuanced to that degree.
Well, yeah.
You know, you kind of just, there's only so much digging that you can get into in a single conversation. One that is actually going quite long right now. Yeah. If you were to guess, how long do you think we've been recording?
I think we're like 2 hours, probably.
I don't know.
We're a little under 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't look at my watch at all, but I had a feeling. It's just because like I was like, this could be an hour long, and I'm like, no, we're definitely not. Yeah, but.
Yeah, I got lost in the sauce a little bit. But
no, I mean, honestly, I think that I really look forward to getting the opportunity to see you play live at some point.
That would be awesome.
I was thinking about asking some questions that I didn't ask. One, I was going to get into the trials and tribulations of social media, and then I decided I didn't really care about that. And then I was thinking I was going to ask you guys about the positives and negatives of translating your sound into a live environment.
Oh, yeah.
And any struggles that maybe you've had with that.
Yeah.
But then I figured I'll just wait till I see you live, and then you come back on the show for the next record, and we can talk about it then.
Yeah.
There you go. Because I've heard people describe to us, and at the risk of sounding like I'm tooting my own horn, like they're like, you actually like do pretty well live, like all things considered. Like we don't do backing tracks for anything, which we definitely could if we really wanted to for like certain, like we have strings in a song or whatever. But like they were like, when we hear the track, like we just assume it's going to be totally different. Like it's just like sound wise, but like they're like, no, you actually you pull it off. Like
we're not super concerned with it. We just kind of let it be what it is. Kind of two different things.
But social media, fuck social media. No
thing.
What is it? The fuck robots?
Yeah, eat shit robots. Yeah, because that song is also about social media, not in the sense like having to keep up with it or whatever, but it's like just like the addictive personality of it, and also the information gathering and things like that. So
well, sure. I mean, I will say in one realm that relates to the overarching sort of theme of our conversation, which I think is like patience in art, taking time to let things develop and find your sound. I feel like that's something that social media really works against a lot.
Yes.
For a lot of artists, I think people feel rushed. I mean, you fucking put out a goddamn EP and even plan to write, I think, as part of that need to feel like, we have to contribute something to people, which there is a truth to that, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like you also at the same time were like, okay, well, this is for that, but then we're going to work on this big project that's like our main focus, right? I think so many bands nowadays are just like, we need to get something out there. We haven't posted. Oh, we need to do guitar playthroughs. We need to do isolated vocal videos. We need to do drum studio videos. It's just like, I mean, all this stuff is cool, but like, don't fucking freak out about it.
Not at the cost of your mental health.
Yeah, it's just like...
Yeah, that's something that we do. Like, we do go back and forth on that because we have one guitar playthrough, and it's not even for this album. Like, it's for the EP, and so it just goes to show how long it's been since we've tried something like that. It was fun making it, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot of, like, we don't want to post for the sake of not, like... we need to have something just out there. Like, there's plenty of bands that, like, I think we went back and forth on this. Like, like we make like birthday posts, like just because like it's something to post, or like it's like, God forbid I post a meme on the page because like I will if it's like attached to something that's like relevant, but like I will never just like post a meme just to be a meme. Like, it is really tricky, and I was thinking about this on the way here. Actually, I was like, why is it that in the year of our Lord 2026 that we still have to dance on camera, like for attention? Like we are literally like dancing for people's like to see. Like it's like jesters and kings, like full circle, So it's just like so much involvement with keeping up because everyone else is doing the exact same thing, like in our shoes. So like they need to like be just as relevant or whatever. But we also like how we weren't playing shows in the winter. We don't have any new photos of ourselves. Like we don't like unless we just take a photo in the practice room of us going like. Like that's like, what else do you want from us?
It's so like, funny, dude. I was just thinking about this because, like, I play in another band called Greywalker, and we haven't like taken any like promo photos of ourselves in like 3 years. But it's like I look at that picture and I'm like, we all look exactly the same. Nothing has changed. It's the same people. I still have that fucking hoodie that I'm wearing. It's like we don't look any different. So it's like, what the fuck is the point?
I don't know why we can't do photos.
Nobody in my band has a face for high definition by any means. So it's just like, what the fuck? What do you even need a picture of us for?
We just like, it is the last thing, literally the last thing on our minds, like at all times.
That's like the one thing that I envy the most about a band like Gorillaz. Where it's like their whole shtick is like, just like they're separated. Or actually, back to the Sleep Token.
Mm-hmm.
How cool is that?
They don't even have to.
They could just kind of do like, I imagine at some point they're going to kind of have to play the ghost card and change their outfits every couple cycles and themes and stuff like that. But
yeah.
I mean, you can do whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice in that way to be separated to some degree.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I actually think it's pretty interesting in the aspect of Sleep Token that like they can do something like that to the point where like it's a brand image, but it's also like other people can like also dress like that and like as like a cosplay kind of thing. Cause I was at a cosplay convention not too long ago and I saw someone dressed as Vessel, like one of the members, and then I happened to be next to them on the escalator, and I was like, oh, John Sleep Token, nice to meet you, man. Like that's just a memory that's gonna stick in my brain now. But I don't know why I had to share that, but I just really wanted to. And I didn't
realize they were in the realm of like cosplay.
I think it's just so like unique.
Prevalent.
You know what I mean?
Sleep Token, Ghost, and Ice Nine Kills have infiltrated the horror baddie market, or the
Motionless as well, right?
Motionless and White for sure. Like the realm of person that likes to be like the slutty ghost face for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like that 100% Sleep Token is probably their favorite band. So
they saw too many thirst traps with the one song in it that they're just like, yeah, that's all me, baby.
Like, you go to last Steel City Con I was at. And it's just like, you start like, there's Michael Myers, there's Chucky, there's Vessel, there's Papa from Ghost, there's fucking,
there's so many Papa cosplayers too. That's another thing that I kept seeing. I'm like, I did not realize that like this was like. But
it's all kind of become like one homogenous thing because I mean, a lot of people that like horror media, pop culture, video games also like heavy metal. So it's kind of a smart part on those bands to be like, how can we market to this demographic of people that loves to put all of their extra income into merchandising?
Right.
And things.
Right. That's actually, and this might be the last topic. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But I really I both like and dislike the fact that heavy metal is mainstream again. Because I like it more than I dislike it, I should say. It's really cool to see new fans appreciating what I've been appreciating for years and years and years. But I'm also not going to the shows where it's been controversial. Like for Bad Omens, for example, like it's just like there's people that they just don't understand like the concert culture. From what I've heard, like it's like, oh, they like get legitimately pissed off about people moshing. Like there's a whole conversation to be had about that topic specifically. But for one, like I'm really happy with like the fact that like I can talk to someone younger than me, which is crazy. Like being 13 years old, like I can't like talk to too many people under. No, I'm kidding. But the aspect of having this conversation be so much easier with people nowadays, with the age of like the internet just being like people are growing up in a time where the internet has always been there. And the fact that like metal is becoming such a prevalent like space in that is just like so cool to me. Like I love that it's like so relevant now. Like it's cool to see.
Yeah, I always think of like Spirit Box kind of infiltrating that.
And the Grammys, or it was Knocked Loose that did Jimmy Kimmel. Like that. Like I don't care like what fucking band it is, to be honest. Like get any band playing on that like to that scale. I just think that's awesome. Like,
it is pretty sweet.
There's plenty of people that could be like, oh, it should have been this band actually, but I don't care, man. Like I just think it's neat no matter what.
I agree.
I was wondering if you agreed or not. There you go.
No, I do agree. I think that it just reminds me of like this happened kind of, there was a lot of this, I guess, almost at the tail end of rock being prevalent, right? Where like bands like Korn and Limp Bizkit were everywhere. And you had like Slipknot on Conan O'Brien and shit like that, like in like the early 2000s. And then it all kind of went away. And now, a lot of the stuff is starting to come back.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm always excited to see people caring about music that is being written and promoted with sincerity.
Yes.
Exactly.
And written by people that are musicians that I think are a part of a culture bigger than themselves.
Mhm.
I think for a long time, a lot of the mainstream music landscape, and this isn't like pop's fault, but it is kind of an unfortunate side effect of some mainstream pop, where there isn't really like a culture from the art side of that. A lot of it is that sort of like, how do we air quote make the band? How do we make the artist? How do we shape this image around like their social media and all this stuff? And it doesn't really downplay like the art of it. You know what I mean? Like you take like somebody random, like a Lana Del Rey or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, these are cool records, but this isn't somebody that like, it's a lot different than like a band of, you know, like somebody like Knocked Loose that, you know, was playing at Roboto 10 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, like there was no.
So you saw that video too.
Yeah. You know, like there's just like, it's just different, you know, and I think it's cool to see like actual like culture in the music rather than these sort of like personality things where it's all about like insert pop celebrity here and
Yeah.
you know, I haven't thought much about this
Mhm.
before, so I can't really articulate
No, of
the
course.
words in real time.
It's
but
on the fly. Yeah, I get it.
It's nice. It's just nice to see people caring about music that was written by people that care about music is maybe the most
Yes.
Mhm.
distinct way I could put it.
I think that's a top like that's a point that like I like subconsciously had, but no, you hit the nail on the head. Like metal is a genre that, despite me listening to so many different things, like a lot of people assume that metal heads are scary or whatever, but it's like they're genuinely like the nicest people I've ever met. Like some of my greatest friends are just, we all bonded over music, and metal is certainly like no exception. Like it's the most prevalent example of that. So it's just like the community behind it, the genuine sincerity of the music that's being written, because it's such a genre that's like against the grain, so to speak, that it's like you have to make it for the sake of making it, like because you enjoy it so much. And that's what I really like about it, is because people are going out of their way to make this, not for the sake of fame, not really for the sake of like doing anything that I mean, most people, I should say, like they're doing it because they, first and foremost, they enjoy it. And then if they happen to go somewhere with it, then great. But, you know, I would love to see people grow from that. I would love to see like our band grow for that.
Yeah, I think
it's just, yeah.
I think there's a lot of power in seeing a band like Knocked Loose get as big as they are, because this is like abrasive weirdo shit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like this is like, there's some stuff where it's like, oh, Turnstile makes sense because this is very fucking accessible and it's super catchy and it's for everyone.
Yeah.
Like there is like everything about Knocked Loose is literally like an auditory middle finger.
Yeah.
You know, like from the compositions to the vocals, and just to see it like be like, if this many people can connect to something this fucking weird,
Yeah.
I find that very promising and
It is
heartwarming.
cool.
And not
You know,
even all,
like, it's just cool to me.
not even all metal fans like Knocked Loose
No.
vocals.
Yeah,
like, you know, it's just,
Not for everyone.
yeah. So the fact that it can push this far is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Great band name.
Yes.
They really knocked it out of the park, pun intended with that one.
Actually, yeah, they really did.
That's one key. You know, we were talking about band names before. I'm gonna fucking end the conversation on this.
Okay.
But we were talking about band names. You need one that's gonna look good on a fucking t-shirt.
Dude,
And
Knocked Loose looks so good on a t-shirt. I can't lie.
that shit looks tough as nails,
It
dude.
is.
Yeah,
It's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
I need to. that makes me think I need to keep making more t-shirt designs, because we have the one that like everyone knows about, that pays attention to us at least, but I have so many like random like ideas that need to just be printed. Like we only just made beanies, so those are brand new.
Oh yeah.
But Yeah, merch is a whole nother thing. I'll get into it later when we actually have things to talk about with that. But we could leave it off on that, I guess.
Before we pull the plug on this.
Sure.
Is there anything else we want to let the lovely people of the internet know about the band? You got any shows coming up in the immediate future? This episode's coming up this week.
Okay, sure.
It'll be out on Wednesday or Thursday. I don't even know when I fucking release my podcast. Thursday.
Well, first and foremost, happy Sunday. Happy International Women's Day. Brian, who is your favorite woman? Bjork. There you go. See, I would say my mom, but but Bjork's pretty cool.
Bjork is mommy.
But the really the big thing is like we don't have any major shows like lined up or anything, but if you have shows that you want us playing at, or if you want to put together a show, like you have bands that like your band needs someone else like in that same vein, like please hit us up. Like we want to play as much as we can, especially because like we have this album that we want people listening to. Like if like your friend's neighbor's dog has something going on that like you think we could be a part of. Ideally, we're going to be at Millvale Music. Like we haven't gotten the official announcement yet, but I would love to do that. I think that about sums it up. Check out Birds Listening Like They Used to. And
if you have
what do you want?
9 extra minutes, also check out the EP.
I guess it is 9 minutes. Yeah, I never really thought about it.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're around, Sometimes we hop on shows like really last minute, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, more often than not, as long as there's not a huge like snowstorm outside, like we're probably going to say yes. Like just hit us up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's get it going.
I'll be keeping an eye out. I would really, really like to play a show with you guys at some point. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it. We know people.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We'll do it. Well,
let's do it.
With all of that said, I guess that is all, folks. One more time. Lysandra, thank you so much for coming out, for being here. Appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having us, man. Seriously.
I'll be back again next week with another episode. Same time, same place, same channel. You know the drill. My name is Brian Sykes-House. Start the Beat is the podcast. 2026 is the year. And until next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of the people around you. Peace out. We did it. That was a podcast. Woo. Hell yeah.